Welcome to the new Change in the Map series. This episode we have one event from earlier in the year that slipped under my radar and then a new name change. Firstly, along the Indonesian-Malaysian border, a change was finalized after years of negotiations. Off the eastern coast of Borneo, a smaller island called Sebatik was divided between Malaysia and Indonesia based on borders going back to colonial times, with an 1891 boundary convention. But as you might be shocked to find out, the colonial borders were vague enough to cause problems, and once independence came around, this became a disputed border. Other areas of their shared Borneo border with disputes were worked on across the 2000s and 2010s, with Sebatik being the final one. Since 2019, they were planning on how to fix the dispute, and in 2025 decided the straight border that was originally intended would work just fine. They would just have to actually straighten the border. So in January of 2026, the two countries moved the border markers to actually ensure it was a straight line. Then on February 18th, 2026, a memorandum of understanding was signed between the two countries to make it official. Then on April 15th, it went into effect. Now, based on where the boundary was de facto compared to where it is now officially, Indonesia gained 127.3 hectares, while Malaysia gained 4.9 hectares. So not a lot of land was overall exchanged. That translates to around half a square mile or 1.3 square kilometers for Indonesia, and then a rounding error for Malaysia. I made a custom map to show the changes, and Malaysia's change is so small I actually have to remove the boundary so you can see it. So yeah, it's not a huge change, but at least that's one less border dispute on the global map. Then further east in the Pacific, the island nation of Nauru is planning to change its official name to Nauru, its name in its native language. This follows a 21st century trend, as the same thing has happened back in 2023 when Turkey rebranded itself to Turkiye, Swaziland became Eswatini in 2018, and Cape Verde became Cabo Verde in 2013. On May 12, 2026, Nauru's parliament passed the name change, but it won't be official until it is confirmed with a referendum. No article I could find mentioned when such a referendum would be, but there doesn't seem to be any indication that such a referendum would fail. So the change is probably all but certain. And that'll conclude this episode of New Change in the Map. I'm Emperor Tiger Star, and I'll see you guys next time.